Hi and welcome to another short edit transition tutorial. And for this one we have I have 3 clips set up already, and with this one I've created a mask of an image here, and here I masked out 2 videos. In the pre-comps you can see that it's just the videos, some of them with the Roto brush tool and some of them with just a regular mask. But now we should focus on the transition, and I'm gonna use so these are my comp settings, and the 3D renderer I'm gonna use the Cinema 4D, and we will make use of the ability to create shapes and extrude them, which you can only do when you use Cinema 4D renderer. But let's start right off by creating the kind of boxes, which will just be some rectangles. I think they should be like long rectangles, I don't know. No stroke, and let's change the fill. This color seems alright. And now we're gonna make it 3D and let the Cinema 4D magic happen by changing the extrusion depth. I'm gonna make it maybe 40. And what you could do now, you can also change like the stroke width, and then you will get a nice border. I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna use this, and I want 2 of these rectangles to be there, and I want like the images or the clips, they should also be 3D. To slide, the first one should be from the left, and the box should be underneath and come from the right. You'll see what I mean. Now I also didn't mention I have my keys displayed down here, in case you're wondering what kind of keyboard shortcuts I'm using. Now what I want to do is I want this whole thing to it should be rotated like this, 90 degrees, and you can see that this one is like pointing downwards. I think I'm gonna duplicate it and make the second one point upwards. Maybe if I change this to like minus 90, since the first one is at 90, and you can see that now we have this layer, and I think I want the second one to be the lower one. So what I'm gonna do is so if I increase this, it will move down, so I'm gonna increase this by 300, and this one I'm gonna do it minus 300. Okay, now we have this look, and I think maybe I can rotate both of them like 90 degrees so that the long side is kind of facing the front. Okay, and also what I did, I changed the active camera. Okay, I just shortly looked up how you can if you change the active camera, which I did here, and you want it to be like in its default again, you can just reset the 3D view by going up here. But that's just something I just learned right now, and I think it's pretty good to know if you're working with 3D layers and so on. But normally I would just go to the custom view, and here we can have a look at all of the things and look around. And now it's time to start with the whole movement, I think. So maybe I will move these layers yeah, slightly more. Let's do plus 150 and here minus 150. Okay. Yeah, and first the lower layer should appear, so the second one should just appear when the second clip appears as well. And just to make this yeah, be aligned with the other layer, I'm gonna set this to -1 so that you have a different position on both of them, because if they have the same Z position they will just yeah, kind of overlap, and After Effects will have a problem with the layers overlapping. Okay, so what we want is we want this layer to come kind of right from here, and then this from here. And okay, first let's work on the first movement, and the second will just be like the other way around. And what I want is I want this whole thing to kind of slide in. I can also just, since these clips are nicely aligned now, I can already create a null object, which will, yeah, be, with this we can then rotate the whole shape later on. And this should be 3D as well. Let's go to the custom view, and yeah, okay, I think it's already aligned in the middle pretty much. For this we can then, now let's parent all of the layers, not yet the image that will come later on, since it's not yet, yeah, aligned in the way I want it to be, but all of the ones that already are like 3D. Let's align all of them with another object. Okay, back to the active camera. Now we should work on this kind of rotation in, and to do this what I will do is I press Y to bring up like the keyframe, the anchor point change thing, and now I will animate the position and the rotation to have this slide in from the side. Okay, first it should like come from a little down and here, and now let's animate the rotation. And yeah, I didn't just want it to rotate normally, I wanted it to kind of rotate like this, because I think it looks cool with the movement. And here it's always cool to kind of have it like overshoot a little and then go back to its default. So you kind of have this movement now. It's, of course, it's we have to like easy ease or something just to make it more smooth, but we can also adjust this later on a little more. Now let's work on this shape. So this should also slide in, and here it's at its default position, and in the beginning it should be in the right, and while this comes in, this should come in. So let's easy ease this as well. And what I want is, okay, for now I think it would be cool if this had like some kind of rotation. But I'm not sure, so I'm gonna first do the other side and then make the decision if I'm gonna include it. So for the other side we simply do the same thing, it just comes from the left, moving it away. Easy ease. And this clip should also, I still have the anchor point tool selected, and I'm gonna move it down here, and I also have snapping enabled, which always makes it easier to move the anchor point to the position in the layer. I will also have this come from down to the right and change the Z rotation a little like this, and have it overshoot a little as well. Press F9 and now let's see what we have up until now. Okay, no. Okay, what I think I will do now is to make it all look a little nicer. Have this position. Oh, okay, it's not even easy east, so that's why it also looks very choppy. And here it's also not easy east, but you have the position kind of not stay the same as well. So maybe what you can do is like move this backwards a little. You can see that there's like this little curve forming, which will probably look nice or nicer. Okay, and with the rotation, I don't like that it's already I think this could, this also looks better already. Get this smooth whoop going forward. And maybe for this one we can then have it come like, since this goes to the back a little, if you go to the custom view, you can see it goes to the back a little. Let's make this clip actually move like forward a little, so we can also do this, and here have it move here forward a little, and let's have a look at how that looks. Maybe here it can also kind of come from the back a little more. Wait, this minus I have to look, is it even? Minus the value, is it negative or positive? Okay, so if you change it to positive, then it goes from backward, goes further away. I always forget this somehow, even though I've reused this tool a lot of times. Okay. Okay, I think we can have this clip be a little more on the side. And also maybe change this so that it kind of moves back and then a little forward again. Yeah, then we have like this nice little rotation almost. I think so, almost is like too much to the front or too much to the side, I don't know yet, but it could also look kind of cool. Okay, let's look at the rotation, adjust this. You can also go into the keyframe editor, of course, and try to change it up here a little. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is make this clip a little longer by going to time stretch, then 80, no, the other way. So if you go over 100, it makes the whole clip a little longer. Now let's have a look at how this will look. Of course, it should match up with the music if you have some music. or yeah. Okay, and now let's just I press U to bring up these properties and gonna separate the dimensions, and instead of just easing them, I'm gonna have this adjust this a little, and I press shift to only adjust, move the handles in the X direction. Okay. And okay, I think I'm gonna add the rotation movement. So this is pretty simple. You just animate the Z rotation. And let's put this to maybe plus 200. I don't know how this will look. Let's find out. I think let's rather do 90 was what it was originally, and then minus 200. And yeah, let's have it like rotate the most when it comes in. Yeah, and now for this one, since we have done a plus 200 there, let's do minus, and let's do plus 200 here, and have this come in with the clip, or rotate the most when it comes in with the clip as well. And now to make this all a little more smooth, yeah, let's do the same thing as with the characters. Let's have it like overshoot, so here it's plus 90, and let's make it like plus more than 100 and have it end when the next clip comes in. And for this as well, here it's plus 90 and it was plus, so let's go into the other direction. So if you go to the graph editor, you can easily see if you did it in the right direction. Yeah, so that it's like lower than this one. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna leave the movement like this. You could, of course, adjust this a lot more if you want to add something special. And now let's do the whole rotation and have this image like pop up. And for this, I will first of all change the scale of the null object so that we can really see what's going on. And here we can also like see this more directly. And here what I will do is I will like change the X rotation and have this turn downwards like this. Okay, now of course we will like adjust the whole keyframes later on probably. Yeah, and here it's at 90 degrees. And I just zoomed out of the camera, so let's reset the view, even though it didn't change a lot. Okay, and now it's time to align this mask the way it should be. Going to the custom view, and okay, this is not 3D yet, but now it is. And okay, so this is not at 90 degrees. Now it's nicely aligned, and let's have this mask be where it should be. And I will probably like change the scale. I know, I will change the scale of these, or all of these things as well, so that they are become smaller. Yeah. Okay, I think that should. Okay, here it is finished with its all of its movement, so that's where we can like position this where it should be and how it should be and all. And so what I want is for it to go out of there like this for this mask. And now I can parent this to the null object. Now it will rotate and scale with it. And now we can add the whole slide movement and maybe even scale it. Let's have a look. Okay, we have to adjust the Z position to make it do all of the things, and yeah, here we should probably also scale this. And then we will be almost done. Now let's go to the active camera to actually see what's happening. Okay. Pressing U to bring up the keyframes. Let's have a look. Okay, this whole thing should. I'm gonna separate the dimensions to be able to really adjust the keyframes. Here's easy easing as if you can also press F9, of course. And now I'm gonna adjust all of the keyframes like this. Okay, I want this mask to appear earlier already. Oh, did change the active camera again. What I want to do is change it like this. And now we can also move this whole thing, since everything's attached to this object, down so that we can really see the character. Now separate the dimensions again, and we only animated the Y position. Okay, now to make the whole movement a little nicer and everything, first I'm gonna adjust the scale so that it's also changes the most when. Okay, here what I want is, I don't want the character to be there yet, since it should only appear when that it's covered up. And now we can also do the overshoot thing with the rotation here, so that it kind of goes like a little more here. Gonna make the whole rotation a little faster. And I think I will make some changes to the scale so that it's like changes a little more or something like that. And yeah, let's have it changed the most in the beginning. Okay, let's have a look at all of the keyframes that this null object has. If you press U, and then you can select all of them. And now I want to kind of make sure that they all have the most change in the right in the moment when this mask appears. Okay, and we can see that that's not the case with these keyframes. Okay, let's have them. Oh, and I think the last thing I'm gonna add is before this turns down, it should turn a little bit like upwards. So it goes like this, and then before it should kind of go a little upwards. This just makes it look like a little nicer, like it's called anticipation, and I think it always makes the things look nicer. And here you can see that it's not that smooth, so let's smooth this out. Okay, yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with this. And we're done, so I hope you enjoyed watching, and goodbye.